Come on, Dom. Armor up.
I've got crops to take care of. If we don't grow it, we don't eat it, remember?
I think the radishes can cope without you for a while.
Okay, let's get this over with.
All right. We're all what? Because I laid out some ground rules? Yeah. 2 R words are almost sort of off limits in the first segment. While people who fire are listening.
Yeah, that's true.
They'll never make it.
You
to the
have
end
to
of the
say
podcast.
that in the first segment.
Oh, shit.
You fucking moron.
Shit.
You gotta start over again.
Shut up.
No, hey, look at that. Sound effects. Hi, everybody. TalkRadar 178. GamesRadar.com's third most exclusive podcast, I think.
Third?
Isn't there a TalkRadar UK? Is that still happening?
Yeah, I think it's on hiatus.
Oh.
It's hiating.
There's also Pokemon Monday, also on hiatus.
Also on hiatus. See, I returned from vacation to record this thing. I guess I should say I am Christopher Antista.
I'm Michael Raparez.
I'm Tyler Nagata.
Introducing Games Radar newest employee.
Hi, I'm Hollander Cooper.
Sorry. I just got my sound effects back in little sound effect.
That's fine. I'm known to break combos.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where do you hail from?
I hail from sunny Pennsylvania.
Sunny Pennsylvania?
Or sunny Philadelphia.
Is it always sunny in
Yeah,
Philadelphia?
that'd be a much better joke if I was actually funny.
Man, we got like Three Stooges the doorway to like get to that joke.
Waka waka. I knew it was coming. I saw it. I took a step back.
Yeah. Hi everybody. Well, guess what we had to talk about? Oh wait, let's. You're from Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. Yes.
And I'm still. You said I could call you Coop.
Yeah, that works.
That works.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Hollander though.
That also works.
Where does that name come from?
That's my middle name.
It's your middle name.
Yes.
Okay.
My first name is Jonathan, but there are far too many Jonathan Coopers for me to like kill all of them and be the only one.
That sounds
But
very
you gain their power when you killed them.
So far, none of them I've found have been all that powerful.
The fewer John Coopers there are in the world, the more powerful the remaining ones become.
I'm not sure
If that Jet Li movie taught
I'm
me
not
anything,
sure if
it's
you
that.
Mayflower people have the same Highlander kind of powers. Like, there's a lot of similar names. Anywho, hi everybody. Look at that, I got my computer back from the airport, and it's loaded up a really old soundboard. So, did you hear that?
Yeah.
All right, so bear with me, but yeah. Soundboard is back. I'm excited about that because everybody last week for Elston's first day out wanted the old Brett bought soundboard, and I found that.
Hey, shut up! This is Brett.
There you go. We'll have little bits of Elston that I'll exploit.
Oh, it's like there's a Capcom employee in the room.
Yeah. Yes.
It will always be a part of Games Radar.
That's true.
Yeah, we have that. We have I'll compliment you on that later. We have a cool top 7. Tyler Nagata and Hollander Cooper here. Like, you guys, is it fair to say you're newsishness?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
This is like a kind
John is technically our new news editor.
That's correct.
of news editor.
And
Yes.
it's part of Games Radar's push to bring you more news every day. So you may have noticed there's more news on the site, and that's a good thing. That means
less
you're
of me
doing your
writing.
job.
Yeah. It's really win-win, I think.
Yeah, I think everybody's it's going quite smoothly. But I mean, you kicked ass this week, and TGS helped having a lot of news. And we'll discuss that later on. We're going to do a 2-segment show, guys. I swear the community segment will go on. We'll continue next week. I just came back from vacation, just hooked up my computer, just got it back from TSA. And Charlie Barrett will come in.
That sounds like a lot of excuses in a row.
It's a ton of excuses, but they're all true. The big thing I do today. Anywho, Charlie Barrett will be here in the second segment, replacing you two, which doesn't say anything of your status. You're not a 3/5.
Will he get our powers?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Well, whatever power, just give him one of your
them,
powers.
yeah.
Okay.
Give him
They
one of
have
your
to be
Not it.
things you're willing to share.
I will give him one of my powers too, which it doesn't work so well anymore, but I can give all Nazis diarrhea whenever I want. It's all right.
That's a pretty good power.
Didn't need a laugh at all. You know what works really well on microphone? Cold silences.
I was just trying to imagine that as like a perfect Call of Duty game. That's like, instead of the nuke, you get it up high, and then it's just like, hit the button, and everyone just starts shitting themselves.
Nazi diarrhea.
Yeah. Siren starts.
This is a really old soundboard.
I'll give
I
him
haven't
my power of
seen
reason.
some of these. No, I still have a fart.
Right.
Oh, I should have used
That would have been appropriate.
I have a dolphin. Yeah. All right. Anywho,
That's like the every dolphin
back
sound.
to games. I'm tired. I'm at it's hot in here.
It's hot in here.
Welcome back,
So
everybody.
take off all your clothes.
Ooh. All right. I did just set my chest hair on fire. You want to
No.
see that later?
No.
It looks kind of cool. It seems to give me like strange definition to like my lumpy
you
flaccid
gonna
body.
start waxing?
No, that's too vain. I
Just
would much
but
rather.
fire.
But burning it off is fine.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a controlled
see.
burn, like what
Right.
rangers do to the woods.
And he only burnt certain parts, so that way, if he ever has his chest naturally catch on fire, the entire thing won't go up in flames.
I see.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm prepared for everything, except for the top 7,
Which was top 7 historically inaccurate historical games.
which is awesome. I was
Thank
telling
you.
Tyler downstairs, this is like, if you boil down what this is, written by somebody with an encyclopedic knowledge of games, written by someone who's a history buff. There's like 3 people who can write this article, and we have one of them.
And
It's
all of them
Michael.
worked at Cracked.
Oh.
So we got the fourth guy who could almost write it.
No, I know you're a history buff, so I love these articles when you really dig into like
thank you.
historical inaccuracies. You had a similar one, right?
Similar, yeah, I had the historical figures defamed. by games.
It's like I love that one.
But yeah, this one, it was inspired by 2 of the entries in particular, and the first entry. Number
oh wait, I got it. I have the numbers back.
Sweet. Man, it's not lifeless anymore. That's great.
Uh-oh.
No, but number 7 is Assassin's Creed.
Fuck that game and its stupid face.
Brett bought that Capcom employee quit buddy. What if I can get him in trouble? We didn't even invite you here.
Oh well.
I'm a big fan of Assassin's Creed, and
Me too.
that fandom has led me to actually read various books about the Assassins, most notably Alamut, on which Assassin's Creed is partially based, and it's another one that's written by kind of a crackpot called the Templars and the Assassins, the Militia of Heaven. But
Oh yeah, you were telling me about this. That these were I really didn't know the assassins were real people.
yeah, they were. They operated mostly in Persia and Syria in like the 11th, 10th century, or 11th and 12th centuries, I think.
That was the fascinating part is that
And
you said
13th.
their goal was to kill people publicly and basically
Yeah.
like
Well,
Fuck it,
it's
to make
interesting.
statements.
It's like, well,
early terrorism.
Yeah, well, it's sort of early terrorism, but it's sort of the opposite of terrorism in that the objective of terrorism is generally to target civilians and create as big a spectacle as possible to generate fear. And this was more to generate fear in the ruling classes that made the decisions, because you're going after the one guy who's in charge or his right-hand man if you want to send a message. And, that avoids a lot of bloodshed. And it also kind of addresses the problem. It's like, well, the Assassins had an army, but it wasn't like a big enough army to take on this empire that they were trying to operate around. And so it's like, well, it's much better if we just train these really smart young guys, and like make them these super soldiers, basically. But in terms of like their ability to use disguise,
Hidden blades?
No hidden blades, just knives. I know. I was disappointed too.
And ninja smoke bombs.
No.
ninja smoke
That's the other thing. This is the key of
Vinci gliders?
the cornerstone of this is the inaccuracy, which is that the real assassins were. I mean, in the game, they have all the ninja tools. They can climb walls. They run away really fast. They dash across rooftops. They always have these daring escapes. Real assassins never actually escaped. Like, they were fanatics. They believed that on the completion of their mission, whatever it was, whether it's like kill this guy or throw yourself off this roof to make a point, that when they died, they would immediately go to paradise, and that they were serving, God's will. And so when they would kill someone, they wouldn't try to escape. They would just wait for death, because it's like, now I've done what I'm supposed to do. Now I can go to paradise. They're like, this will be great. So, but it's sort of like suicide bombers in that way, and that
I was going to say,
they're martyrs basically. It's self-imposed martyrdom. And when I made that comparison to suicide bombers, a lot of people in the comments were like, "That's not fair. You're calling them terrorists." Like, one guy,
they were basically, but America.
No, well, like one guy thought they were mercenaries for some reason. Like, no, they were like the assassins. There are a few documented cases of them accepting money for assassinations, but I've read several scholars who think that, like, well, they would do that, but only if they were already planning to kill that guy, in which case, like, yeah, you want to give us money for this? Sure. Okay. Well, we were going to do it anyway, but we're not going to tell you that.
While we're there.
Yeah, exactly.
Might as well.
Exactly. But, yeah, and another guy was like, well, the whole point of Assassin's Creed is, like, this is a secret history, and they're saying, like, oh, we'll let the world see us as monsters. And, like, of course, they give the impression of being terrorists, so the game acknowledges that, so it's weird that you would pick on this. And I'm like, well, no, it's not the monsters thing that I have a bone to pick with, it's just they didn't escape. Like, it's documented from various sources that they never tried to run away.
And that's sort of the point of Assassin's Creed. You have to get in, get the kill, and then
you run away.
And you have so many tools to run
so
away.
you can
or
give
you
birth
kill everyone
and have
who's chasing you.
descendants. Makes it kind of hard to give birth to descendants.
Yeah. And, it would kind of be a very different game if, like, every mission that you successfully completed, you died and were replaced by a different character.
After you stab them in the throat and kind of drop them down and they give their little speech, you then just, like, get down on one knee and it's like, all right.
Yeah. Or, like, it's basically
blood?
like
Are you
you're giving
okay?
yourself up for arrest at that point.
Yeah.
And, like, most of the time, like, you just killed our king, fucking kill him. They wouldn't arrest somebody back then. They might. I mean, there were cases where assassins returned alive, but it was mainly because they were just let go.
Right.
I love this. Should we go 6?
Do you really?
I
You're
do.
letting me talk unhindered.
I do.
This is rare.
Brett?
That research me look on box back.
I did look on Boxback.
You always look on
I look on Boxback of
always
history.
Look on Boxback.
Buy history at store. Look on Boxback.
Nope. No, it is number 6, because I still have yet to
Medal
look this
of Honor Underground.
Number 6.
There we go.
up.
Found it.
Right?
Huh?
Fuck! There you go.
There it is.
Number 6. I did
Number
it already.
6.
I did it already. Where were you guys?
We were right here listening to you fumble.
Right.
Oh well.
But yeah, Medal of Honor Underground.
Which one was
It was the
this?
second one on
second
PS1.
one.
Yeah, and it's Medal of Honor was. It's kind of gotten muddied now, but
Was this EA or still DreamWorks?
EA.
Okay.
Well, it was DreamWorks and EA, but it was like back in the day. Like I forget sometimes. Like the first couple of Medal of Honors were like Steven Spielberg was working on these. And it was like,
big
this is
deal.
the video game version of Saving Private Ryan. We're going to approach World War II with respect and delicacy and historical accuracy. And then that kind of went off the rails as early as the second game, where you're playing this female French resistance fighter named Manon, which is cool. And she's based on a real person who actually, she wasn't really a commando so much as she was like a scout and she was a spy and posed as a secretary for the Vichy government. But in the game, you get ordered to go to Wewelsburg, which is the castle that Wolfenstein was based on, and is like the headquarters of the SS. Like this was Himmler's castle. It was the seat of his little weird SS state that he wanted to make within the Third Reich. And so it's kind of weird, the idea that like we're going to send a French woman alone into this heavily guarded castle where if she's spotted, she won't have any chance to blend in. And we're going to order her to steal back this knife of Abraham, which let's not even touch that. The thing is, there's fucking knights in medieval armor in this castle who will charge you with swords and shields, and that is bullet resistant. Like you can empty a clip at them when they're holding their shield up, and it won't hurt them unless you like hit them in the head. It's like that's completely ridiculous.
It's also gameplay.
It's gameplay, but if you're talking about a game that's historically accurate,
Yes.
you're not going to have Nazi knights running at you in bulletproof armor because medieval armor isn't fucking bulletproof.
It's heavy.
It's heavy, but bullets will go straight through it. That's why nobody wears it anymore.
And when you do that, you really disrespect the greatest generation of teenagers with regenerating health.
Yes.
Like you really,
Well, who can regenerate their health by finding large packets marked with a red X.
Yes. Damn it! I don't have any of my cool stuff up. Hi. Hi. All right. Sorry, where are we?
We're at number 5.
Number 5! Brad Elston.
I learned English from coloring books.
There we go. Do that all day.
What is number 5? I've forgotten. Oh, it's Rome Total War.
Rome Total War.
Rome Total War.
This was your suggestion.
Yes. Rome Total War was an extremely... If anyone who's ever played the Total War series knows that the developers go to great lengths to kind of recreate the scale of these medieval conflicts. Whereas like in StarCraft or whatever, you'll have like, oh, you have 100 guys. You'll have tens of thousands of units. And they try to make them as realistic as possible. But you still have to kind of err on the side of gameplay. And they can really only go so far remaking history. So they had to kind of change things up to make it more interesting. And it's not stuff that that's really, I'll say, is interesting to kind of... it really isn't, because it's like, oh, well, these... yeah, it's like, oh, well, these units didn't exist yet, and these units didn't exist yet. But the interesting part is that there were some fans who were so angry that they made a complete modification. Yes, and what was the name of the mod?
Rome Total Realism.
Yes, Rome Total Realism, where they actually
love that
went
screenshot.
in.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, no, I'm sorry, these guys didn't actually have these weapons. We have to change it for these weapons.
Well, some of the choices, I mean, I'm sure they were made in the interest of better gameplay, but some of the choices that were made in the original were a little weird, like dividing Rome into 3 different factions.
That happened
Like,
eventually, right?
Rome was always unified.
Right.
But yeah, I kind of get it, but at the same time, it's like, hey, you're probably not going to have bright green Roman soldiers on battlefield at the time, but
Right. And it's just interesting.
It is more fun that way.
It is, and they didn't go as far as like putting Nazis in knight's gear, but it's just so interesting that people were still like, this just won't do. This game with 98% realism simply won't work. So they nitpicked and found every single little thing and created an entire modification to fix them all.
To be fair, some of the things are pretty big, like
the Egypt thing.
The Egypt thing.
Okay, fair enough.
It's like, we based this version of Egypt more off like the
Elizabeth Taylor movie?
What? No, like the 1000 BC version of Egypt or something like that. Or
which is like 1,000 years earlier than the game takes place. So it's like, well, let's just give them these units that they would have no reason to use 1,000 years later.
Does Rome Total War still end on the moon?
The second half, the prologue does.
I'm thinking of Civilization 5. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right.
Yeah,
it's all right.
I don't know if Rome Total Realism is any fun. I mean, I didn't play it, but I did read a couple reviews, and they all said one thing, that like this makes the game so much longer. That they decided like, well, a real army wouldn't be able to move this quickly or to kill this quickly or this efficiently. So let's make everything take a lot longer.
Well, it wasn't built in a day.
Years. Yeah, I know, but it's a game. It's a motherfucking game.
I lost my funny sound effect.
I was going to say there has to be a sound effect for that. I just don't know what it is.
I'm getting there.
Waka waka.
It's realistic pacing, Chris.
Oh, I forgot what it was.
A real host wouldn't be able to find a sound effect that quickly.
Oh, I suck.
I just love the idea behind Rome Total Realism. It's so interesting that it's like they found every tiny thing and we're like, let's just fix it because this version didn't do it.
And it's a series too. There are multiple versions of this mod out. That,
really?
Apparently, it has a big fan community that contributes stuff, and so they've come out with like 3 or 4 of them.
Like better late than never.
There you go. There you go.
I got it. I forgot. I didn't have any Total War Rome sound effects. But I did dig up your sound effects from Shadows of Rome during the top 7 characters. Okay. Oh, good. I can reuse those.
Spoiler.
We only have so much history to be inaccurate about. We have like 3,000 years.
All right, Brett Elston. What do you think? What was your favorite part of Rome Total War?
A robot elephant shooting a ball at you.
Number 4.
Strangely, that was kept in Rome Total Realism.
Yes.
There were elephants and there were balls.
Yes. Hey, they gave balls to the elephants in the name of realism. But number 4 is the Saboteur, And this was the other game that inspired the piece, because when I played it, as much as I liked the game, like the beginning of it just made me shriek at the TV, and it's like, that's not how World War II fucking started! What the hell?
Well, wait, how did World War II start?
World War II started in 1939.
Can you make this quick?
In Europe, when Germany annexed Poland, France, and the UK declared war 2 days later. And then 8 months later, Germany actually invades France by going through Belgium and the Ardennes forest to skirt around the Maginot Line, which is this enormous line of anti-aircraft guns and turrets and machine gun nests that France has set up along the border just to stop Germany from coming over. And so yeah, that's 8 months after there was fighting going on. And Saboteur's version of it, it begins in 1940. Things are friendly enough between France and Germany that you can just go over the border to participate in an auto race. And
To be fair, they really liked auto races.
yeah, that's true.
It was sort of that was almost the thing that held the world together.
Yeah, and
They didn't
not only
have
that,
soccer yet.
but okay, France's side of the border completely undefended. Germany's side of the border, gigantic concrete bunkers, towering gates, completely impenetrable looking. And so yeah, and then Germany decides to invade shortly after the race, and France is completely unprepared, and that's how the war starts. And it starts with France getting invaded and surrendering. Whereas, you know, France did do a lot of fighting for those first 8 months of the war. They were pretty important, and you're just making them look like a bunch of schmucks.
I'm not sure if they were a nation until America saved their ass, or at least that's
America.
That's what I hear on AM radio.
Oh, okay.
They weren't even really a people until.
No, you're right. You're right. Louis XIV was actually American.
I believe we took America to the stealth mission, and we rescued all of the French people. From
Yep, all
Nazi
at once.
bunkers.
All at once. They owe us everything.
And you know what? Well, my grandparents were in the war. I'm going to take credit for that.
Okay.
Me, as an American
personally.
white male. Yes.
And as somebody who had a Jewish grandmother in France during the early 1940s, thank you.
There you
go.
Thank you.
She sounded like she had a good time, though, right?
A blast. A blast.
I don't even know how to deal with this subject. What did I just start? I know Wolfenstein Hitler
Started a bloody war. That was even worse than the Irish accent in the game, which is, by the way, one of the worst fucking Irish accents ever.
You know, I do have an old folder. Keep talking for a second, Michael.
That was my bad impression.
Kill time
of a
until
bad
he finds
impression.
a folder that labeled Irish accents.
Right, yes.
No, I have a top 7 worst acccents.
Yes, that I also did.
And I may be in
Was
there.
Saboteur on there?
Yes.
I think Saboteur inspired it again.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think Saboteur.
What was
yeah,
it?
I'm pretty sure Saboteur.
If that wasn't it, what was it?
If what wasn't it?
Saboteur.
Maybe Mercenaries 2? Mercenaries 2 had some rough
No,
accents.
it wasn't Mercenaries 2.
There's that
Maybe
one guy
some,
who's just
There
sounds like
was
this.
Heavy Rain.
Ooh, that one's good.
I do have
The American kids playing.
And every character sounds like
I can do it all right, just you watch.
Jason! It's like, yeah, I believe that you live in Pennsylvania. That works for me.
I don't know what these are, but I do have Saboteur files.
I'm glad you finally decided to join us.
We took the scenic route.
You run into any trouble?
Just the usual groupies, looking for autographs.
My God!
That's the same voice actor who does Travis Touchdown, by the way.
What the fuck?
Doing a Travis Touchdown
It sounded
impression.
like just one of those YouTube videos of like 100 voices
That is
in 10 minutes.
the game's version of an Irish accent, a French accent, and an Italian
Let me
accent.
hear some more.
The Nazis are in a fury. They've been arresting suspected rebels. Sean, they took Vittore.
Where?
La Villette. The old slaughterhouse. The prisoners are going to be shot. We must do something.
There is no turning back now. In for a penny, in for a fucking pound.
Last one.
You see that man standing over there?
The one grinning like a cat with a cream-flavored arsehole.
He's called Santos.
That sounded.
It's like somebody watched
Very
Boondock Saints and
authentic.
was like, that's what I'm going to do. That right there.
Yep.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do an impression of Doc from Fraggle Rock screaming in an Irish accent. Oh, man. Can I go one fucking
And also-
podcast without mentioning Fraggle
Also,
Rock?
I just want to say there's fucking Zeppelins in the Saboteur, which were
that bad?
completely decommissioned by the time World War II started, because after the Hindenburg, even the Nazis didn't want to have anything to do with them.
And from what I saw from my PlayStation with Saboteur, I got to say, the Rocketeer fights for America, not Germany. That was also in there. Number 3! Let's end on a bad joke. Oh, or Brett Elston.
Fuck that game and its stupid face.
Well, you keep talking. No, it's number 3.
Number 3 is Robin Hood, Defender of the Crown.
What the fuck is that?
Well, it comes from the
That
long
is-
line of obviously historically correct Robin Hood games.
Oh, yes, and Cinemaware games. It's actually an update of the old Defender of the Crown game, which is not historically accurate either, but slightly more historically accurate than this. This kind of...
Is there Robin Hood I think he's basically acknowledged as a myth now. That's how we know him.
Yeah.
Can you give a little background on the real Robin Hood?
Well,
there's like a Saint
there's
Nicholas
so
of
many
Robin Hood.
fucking different stories. I mean, people are probably familiar with at least 2 or 3 of them by now, but
I prefer Kevin Costner.
basically, he was a bandit.
Russell Crowe here.
He was a bandit who operated in Sherwood, assuming he existed at all, and around Nottingham. And some stories said he gave what he stole to the poor, and that made him into a folk hero. And then, they added all these weird things in the intervening centuries about how, oh no, he's actually a secret nobleman because our audiences are nobles and they won't accept a hero who doesn't come from their classes.
Not at all.
No.
No.
Never.
No. Who is this Robin Hood?
My word.
My word.
But, yeah, and, he's always at loggerheads with the sheriff, and sometimes the sheriff's a bad guy, sometimes the sheriff's a beleaguered public servant, sometimes Robin Hood's played by Sean Connery.
Sometimes the sheriff is Richard Lewis.
Sometimes.
When Mel Brooks is
he's
in
a
control.
fox.
Sometimes he's a fox. I think he was a bear. Oh, he was Slim Pickens in the Disney version. Oh, shucks. Robin Hood is out there robbing and hooding. Oh, man.
What are we gonna do?
Prince John is going to have my asshole. That's not from the Disney movie.
Yes, it is.
No, it is.
Yes,
Deleted
it
scenes.
is.
A pox on the phony king of...
I also found out something interesting about the Disney Robin Hood while I was researching this.
What's that?
That it started out as an adaptation of a different folk hero named Reynard the Fox.
Really?
But it was decided that Reynard was maybe not a suitable hero for a children's movie because he's actually kind of an anti-hero, so they picked Robin Hood instead.
But they kept the fox.
Yeah.
I think Disney was doing that for a while. They had the Davy Crockett folk hero.
I blame that movie for the rise of the furry movement on the internet. I don't think it would exist
Why
without
that movie?
Why not that movie?
There wasn't
that
other
where-
Disney movies with walking, talking animals.
Not that sexy.
Not that sexy.
Not that sexy.
And look at fucking Maid Marian,
Lady
and,
Cluck.
and look at Robin Hood, and tell me that didn't play a part in any
Heaving
girl's
bosoms.
early sexual development.
I think you should admit that somewhere in the forums in the comments. He does seem like a cartoon character women would have a crush on.
Yeah,
That Robin Hood in the Disney version is slick. I like that shitty, bemulleted Kevin Costner.
He's like a proto George Clooney.
Yeah. Are there any?
But anyway, let's talk about the fucking
excuse
game.
me. Excuse me.
Because the game takes place, shortly after the Third Crusade, when King Richard was being imprisoned by King of Austria, Leopold V.
Patrick Stewart.
And sure,
Men in Tights.
and wow, you're really derailing my train of thought here.
Sorry. You just want
But in the game, basically, Prince John decides he's going to seize control and no, Richard's actually dead. I won't raise a ransom for Richard. I'm suddenly played by somebody drunk. So Robin gets tapped by Maid Marian and Friar Tuck, and they come along and is like, "You've got to save England, Robin." And so he's like, "Okay, I guess I'll lead an army and be dashing." And then he's just like, "Why am I doing this? I'm going to rob some fucking stagecoaches." And then
His best green tea.
so yeah, it's basically Robin Hood leads armies to conquer England, and he also collects the ransom for King Richard through taxation. And in real life, that ransom was being collected through taxation by Prince John and his mother, Eleanor of Aquitaine, so they could get Richard back. And it was such a ridiculous amount of money for the time that it put a lot of pressure on the lower classes, and in some versions, those heavy taxes are exactly what Robin Hood is rebelling against. So he's basically been turned into what he's supposed to fight against.
Dun dun dun.
Exactly. And it's just a very weird adaptation of the Robin Hood myth and of history, and it has very little to do with history. And I think in the end you kill Prince John when in fact Richard had the...
What about a snake sidekick? What about a snakely sidekick?
No, Sir Hiss. But
Sir Hiss is always ignored.
Trying not to interrupt you with such questions for so long.
Yeah.
What part in the game do you kiss people in the ring so to steal their jewels?
Unfortunately, none of them. But they should have added that as a mini game.
Yeah.
And also there's
not many people know that Robin Hood invented bling once you kiss the jewels.
Not one mention of the word oodalale.
Oodalale. Oodalale.
I want to know where the fuck that came from because I have never even heard mention of that word outside of that movie.
I know.
Yeah? Tell me.
Disney was really good at coming up with spontaneous words so as to fit with a written chorus and not have to write lyrics to it that would be in any way hard, difficult, or subversive.
Makes sense.
Oodalali, supercalifragilistic. I can go on. But I won't because of Robin Hood, right?
Yeah, I guess, oodalali makes sense if he needed something to rhyme with fuck.
Oh, those old Disney movies.
It's true, it works.
Cool bowling.
Thanks, Brett. Number two!
Number 2 is Bladestorm, the 100 Years' War.
What?
Which is, kind of came and went and was immediately forgotten, but was basically Koei, the team that does Dynasty Warriors, trying to do kind of something similar for the 100 Years' War. And it's
Gundams.
Yeah, and but just the 100 Years' War in this case. And it was just kind of silly. I mean, on a historical level, like right away, it's like people are running around on foot in full plate mail, which would never have happened. And I mean, it has the usual Dynasty Warriors kind of school of design, like important historical figures are now very young men with shoulder-length hair and midriff-exposing armor. Some characters are now ninjas for some reason. There are war elephants on the battlefield in France and England.
I didn't have an elephant sound
but
effect.
so why this?
For
Why this on the list and not any giant crabs?
Well, I actually talk about that in the intro because that's too fucking obvious. Anything like Genji with its giant crabs and demon-powered enemies, or Jeanne d'Arc with its "the King of England is possessed by a demon," and Joan of Arc has been given magical Sailor Moon transformation powers by a crystal she found, or whatever the fuck it was.
But this is a Koei game.
Yeah, I know, but like the Koei games. Like
this is the take
my
the piss
impression
out of
of
games
them,
that purport themselves to be
sort of
based in some authenticity.
Yeah, it's somewhat authentic. Like, okay, the Koei games, like, it's a little bit ridiculous. You have one guy beating up an army, but like the events and the characters are still taken from Romance of the Three Kingdoms and this whole era in Chinese history, and this is just, there's no fucking elephants. There's no fucking elephants in Europe, Western Europe at this time.
A robot.
Certainly
elephant.
not in numbers that you could
Brett
use
brings up
them
a good point.
in
Robot
the cavalry.
elephants?
No robot elephants.
all right.
Just the regular kind.
Elston, I wish you would chime in more appropriately next time. It's all right. You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
You all right?
Why wouldn't I be?
I don't know. You just sighed afterwards, like, fuck.
I miss Brett.
Fuck. Aw. That's sweet. You guys might have something to do later. Hey, we should go to number 1.
Yes, we should.
Number 1.
Now you can use the sound effects because it's Shadow of Rome.
Yay! Like this. I don't know. Tell me about Shadow Rome.
Shadow Rome is a ridiculous mess with surprisingly fun gameplay that is marred by terrible, terrible stealth sequences.
Sounds like an average adventure game.
Well, it's kind of
the PS2.
Gameplay-wise, it's divided into 2 halves. One, you're playing as this character Agrippa, who's based on Marcus Agrippa, who was in real life a general of Octavian, aka Augustus
It's a different
Caesar.
Marcus. I thought I had a
right. And you're fighting in the arena, and that part is fun, and it's really gory, and you're constantly impaling people with spears and chopping off their limbs. And then the other part is you're playing as Octavian, who goes on to become Augustus Caesar in real life. And you're just kind of sneaking around these old Roman mansions, trying not to be seen. And if you get seen, then it's an instant fail, and it sucks. But the thing is that, like, it takes these weird liberties with history, and it does them with, like, a really well-known time period. Like, it begins with the assassination of Julius Caesar, and in real life, like, that was... The killers just, like, mobbed him in broad daylight in the Forum. There's a bunch of guys, they all stabbed him, and they made no attempt to hide their identities because they thought, we just slew a tyrant, Rome will hail us as heroes. And besides, we're noble, so who the fuck's gonna touch us anyway?
I'm thinking of the scene in Rome. Like, is that... on a scale of 1 to accurate?
That's a lot more accurate than this was. In the game...
Was it a 9 accurate?
I would say probably an 8 or 9 accurate.
There were only 2 levels on the scale.
Accurate.
it was pretty accurate. But there were slightly differing accounts of that, but I won't get into that.
But how does they portray it in the game?
They portray it in the game as, somebody killed Caesar. He's been found dead. Who could have done this? I hope we solve this mystery.
Gorge.
And so... Agrippa comes home and finds out that his father has been framed for the crime, and he tries to free his parents, and his mother is killed by Decius Brutus, who it turns out is the real killer, and who's actually an amalgam of like the famous Brutus, who was Caesar's nephew. And
yes,
not Guido Brutus.
I heard it was Christopher
threw you off
in the parlor,
yeah,
and this other Decimus Albinus Brutus something is. But he's just like this ridiculous fucking villain, and he
curly mustache.
No, missing that, but he does have like this weird cloak that makes it look like a lion is biting his shoulder. So there's that.
He has that going for him.
Yeah, he does. And
that's right. I do remember that.
Yeah, he eventually. I mean, I'm gonna spoil a 6-year-old game here, but he dies in the arena, and then it turns out Mark Antony was behind it the whole time, and we're gonna go to Egypt and fucking kill Mark Antony, even though like that happened a long time afterward in real life, and it
Back
wasn't.
when he was married to Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah, and it wasn't. Well,
almost got it out.
Yeah, he's Antonius in the
No one's ever made that connection, by the way.
No,
until right
nobody. Nobody. Christ, what was it?
I'm sorry. Just because you're right, I keep derailing you. Sorry.
We're almost done. Stay frosty. We're almost done.
And I have some Brutus sound effects.
That's true. Mm-hmm. All right. So yeah, where were we? Oh yeah, we're going to Egypt to kill Mark Antony. In real life, Mark Antony wasn't
like my grandmother says it. Antony.
Mark Antony was not only not behind the crime, but he publicly denounced the killers and was instrumental in getting them run out of Rome. And the problem was he was Caesar's right-hand man, so afterward a power struggle erupted between him and Octavian, Caesar's other nephew.
Another dude?
And Octavian's the one who's sneaking around in the game. And who's portrayed as like, oh, I'm such a good-hearted little teenager. I'm blonde. That's how you can tell. And so yeah, they shared power for a couple years, and that didn't work out so well. And it ended with Antony fleeing to Egypt, where he was going to raise an army. But then Octavian came with his own armies, and Antony and Cleopatra famously committed suicide rather than be captured. And in which case they would probably have been taken to Rome alive and publicly humiliated in brutal ways.
Yeah,
because that's what Roman triumphs are.
Yes. That's what, meanwhile, look for us. I just wanted to make a joke about the Pax Romana.
Pax Romana?
That's, yes, the Penny Arcade boys are doing that over in Italy. Yep. Almost. If I just had a little more time to structure it, I think it could have been a winner.
If you added a sound effect.
Ooh,
yeah,
what do you
that
think?
usually makes this fun.
There you go.
See, now it's brilliant.
What's the podcast equivalent of an Emmy? And give it to me.
Potty.
Let me give me a potty.
Yeah, I'll give you a potty.
Your potty. I had these from your last top 7 where this was an entry.
All right.
McCanus, you rat.
How could you abandon Caesar? Because he abandoned me!
I just got teary-eyed.
Yeah.
Such pathos.
I am a genius. The general that ever lived.
Brutus, ladies and gentlemen. Brutus.
That's that was the sound of him shitting, by the way.
I thought it was the sound of him dropping olive oil.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back to Popeye as many times as I can.
I don't think that really connects with the kids.
No?
I don't think they're into that. I don't think they know what a Popeye is.
Google it, everyone.
That's Google Popeye.
Yeah.
I think he's on a shirt at fucking Hot Topic right now.
Yeah, he makes really good chicken.
Yes.
Yeah.
He does. Hi, we're through with the top 7.
Thank God. Thought we'd
No news, boys.
I don't know if I can go back to any historical game now that I know how historically inaccurate they may be.
Most of them are.
Yeah.
But like, you know, that's the thing. I was like, when you brought up the Genji thing, like I didn't want to. Number one, that would be too easy. Number two, that widens the playing field so much. Like something like Sunset Riders, is that to be included? Or
I just want it to be known
Red Dead
that
Redemption?
I did read your article.
Okay.
I brought that up for the sake of conversation.
I know.
So you lied to the listeners.
I figured. You wanted that brought up. That's
Yeah.
good.
I thought it'd make for some fun jib jab.
But no, I wanted just to elaborate on that point.
Yeah.
I want to elaborate on TGS. More importantly, I want to lead with my favorite news that I haven't even really just got back, been working really hard on other stuff. First news I get told, what do you think my favorite news is? You told me it casually while we were smoking today. Oh yeah, the Square announced that they're gonna release Final Fantasy X in HD.
Oh, that's right.
See, the funny thing is that
That was a great scoop by Coop.
Scoop Coop.
Yes, I scooped it by not
They give you
speaking
Michael
Japanese.
That's a horrible nickname, the Coop Scoop.
The Coop Scoop.
Yeah.
You should do
It's like
that.
I'm back in kindergarten
Let's
now.
not use that. Let's.
How about the Cooper Scooper?
Again, that's first grade now.
I knew it was. I knew it was pretty clever.
Yes.
What are some other TGS stories that came out? Does anybody know how Hank and Carolyn are holding up? They're out there right now.
I think they got kidnapped by the Yakuza.
No.
Yeah.
Don't tell them. The Yakuza.
Yeah.
Don't come!
That's House of the Dead. That doesn't have anything to do with the Yakuza. I just don't have a lot to work with right now, other than an Oriental Gong, which I'm saving.
Okay.
I am saving that one.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I guess in terms of TGS, we can start with the Nintendo 3DS press conference.
Yes, where there was rumored to be a complete overhaul of the system, and that didn't happen.
Oh, okay, good. I wasn't looking. I foresee that as well, and I'm not looking forward to it as a early adopter.
Right.
Who was compensated for his early adoption with a bunch of games he already owns that aren't altogether that playable anymore.
No, but as an early adopter, you can look forward to them finally having confirmed the. Is there a name for the second circle pad? It's like the.
I think we're calling it the thingamajiggy.
Yeah,
that officially exists.
Yeah.
And not only does it exist, but it takes a AAA battery.
Fuck! Why does this exist?
Yeah.
Like I don't.
And
wait,
I can make it
split
worse.
the user base.
I can
'cause
make
that
it worse.
always goes well.
I can make it worse for you. You know how you can figure that any game that uses this, that's probably going to be the best way to play it because they're going to have a second analog stick. Oh, they've already started confirming like Metal Gear Solid's going to use it. And they delayed Kid Icarus, so there's rumors that they're delaying it so that can use it.
Like that was the fucking problem with the 3DS.
Yep.
The lack of an analog stick, a second analog stick. God damn it.
So that happened.
You know what?
And they really kind of swept that under the rug.
They actually didn't announce that at the
Yeah.
press conference. They did it like 20 minutes later. They like waved people over. It's like, yo, you should probably take a look at this. We didn't feel like putting a spotlight on it.
They
because-
emailed assets out afterwards.
Yeah.
I believe you
After everyone went home.
Did they stream the conference?
They did stream
But
the
they didn't
conference.
stream with an English translation.
No, they did not.
No.
But it really wasn't that hard to understand.
I mean, I'm sure when you see a Mario Party 9 logo come up,
Right.
behind
Yeah.
something, but
And you see a bunch of characters with a
The
year.
biggest announcements they made, I'd say, was they confirmed a new Fire Emblem for the 3DS and a new Mario Tennis for the 3DS.
Jesus Christ.
That's
Why did I
what
buy
they
that
brought.
system?
That's what they brought. That was their A game.
I know Henry's out there
That was their
ejaculating right
A-game.
now. Really?
And there's some discussion over whether it was exactly following the conference or before the conference, but Nintendo stock prices have fallen.
I did see that. Did we do an article on that?
Yeah, it dropped by a few percent. It wasn't a huge drop, but usually after a press conference, especially one that you promote, people kind of, like, I saw some headlines saying, like, this is how Nintendo's going to save the 3DS.
Wow,
You'd have
that's sad.
expected it to go up. Or at least not go down at all, but it stayed down for a little while. It did. I think it evened out eventually, but it was the future. They didn't really give you a good forecast of the future of the 3DS.
This
It's very disappointing.
I have a file of Mario themes. Anybody?
Running out of time?
Yeah, that'd be Mario Tennis, and nobody here it's like the one Mario theme nobody fucking recognizes.
No, but I will go up to not bat, but I'll go up
if I want to
to
ignore
tennis.
sports games, I'll ignore real sports games.
Mario Golf.
Mario Tennis is good. You get to play as Waluigi as his completely broken. He's taller than everyone, so he has the best tennis abilities, and his special power involves making waves
Look how
for no
long
reason.
my arms are.
That's
I didn't think they could make the existence of Waluigi more infuriating.
I love Waluigi.
Oh,
that's
Jesus.
another podcast. That's another.
We'll get into that later. But fuck, that's irritating.
That's all Nintendo really brought. It was a lot of just talking about, like, listen, guys, just stick. It reminded me a lot of like Sony's early PS3 press conferences, where half of it was spent like, listen, we know, we're sorry, and it'll get better, and it did.
When
Uncharted 2 came out.
Oh, snap.
The vibe I got from most of Sony's early PS3 press conferences was like, look how great we are. Look at these charts and graphs. We're going to talk about them for a half an hour before we start talking about games.
Oh, there was still a bunch of that.
Yeah, Sony still did that at their Vita press conference,
okay.
which was
just
awesome.
last night. You know?
Because-
I heard about that. I heard you complaining about the
Yeah,
charts.
they streamed it in English, but that stream crashed about 30 seconds before the press conference started, and I think that someone at Sony literally said, "Yeah, fuck that. We're not gonna turn it back on." So we had to watch the Japanese live stream, even though they were supposed to have an English one, which was slightly harder to understand because there was a lot of charts and graphs going on.
Tell me how many of these are happening. We're
All right.
getting a new Jumping Flash, a new Loaded, and I can't think of another decent PlayStation franchise.
No.
No! To all of
I
those?
don't know. They could have said it. I didn't understand Japanese.
That was supposed to be the wrong answer, but
We are getting a new Twisted Metal.
I already knew that.
But yeah, the stuff they announced, Kojima went on stage and announced everything you already expected him to announce. So he's making
That is Kojima.
Yes. He's making a new game for the Vita and the PS3 using the Fox engine, which is
Is it the same game?
Yeah.
No.
But he announced it again. He's going.
That's good. Announcements for games that have already been announced.
Yes,
are
and
always-
is it Transfarring? Is that the name of his thing?
Oh yes.
Transfarring.
Transfarring is going to work with Zone of the Enders and Metal Gear Solid HD on the Vita.
What is that again? That's you're just able to use your old PS2 saves.
No,
No.
you're going to be able
To play it on PS3
and your Vita.
Oh,
So let's
right,
say you
yes.
go buy a PlayStation 3 game and then you say, you know what I want? I want to play this on a smaller screen on the subway. But I don't feel like replaying the same levels.
I do like it. I do like the idea.
I like it. I just get angry every time Kojima goes up on stage and I see the Transfarring logo and it's like, I know he's just going to sit there talking about it like it's a brilliant idea when it should just be how things are.
Didn't Madden do that years ago? Like you can play it on PS3 or
What was-
PS2 and transfer it to PSP.
There was a Wii game that did it.
I never had a
Final Fantasy for the
PS3 in the
Wii.
beginning, but I thought that was part of it. Like, what was the deal with being able to play Lair on your PSP?
That was you were able to stream it.
Yeah.
to stream it, like via the internet, so play it
Yes,
super
but
slowly.
this is
from-
not streaming.
No,
this is
it worked pretty well.
worked better because you didn't have to use the motion controls exclusively.
Yeah, exactly. That was, I think, what clued them in. It's like, oh yeah, maybe we should do that patch that fixes the controls, and by then nobody cared.
Yeah,
Except
but
the diehards.
It has to be easy and fast. If it's
true.
not, then forget about it.
and when I think Transfarring, I think
Yeah.
easy and fast.
Yeah.
But what else? Oh, Capcom announced that Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is going to be a Vita launch title.
I think that's a decent move, but I thought like when
That game's already done, so it's not like they're making a new game.
But when we discussed the 3DS before a certain person went over to Cap, and I don't have any new information. But
why are you winking at me?
I'm not wink. That is not a wink. That is not a wink at all. But seriously, I did not know my wink would be that audible. Oh man, no. We looked at Street Fighter sales, which is to this day. Oh well, not before Ocarina of Time is the highest rated 3DS game, and its sales are pathetic.
Yeah,
and it's Street Fighter emulated to handhelds. Like I'm not as big of the Street Fighter scene to say you, Tyler. Is that a platform where fighting fans go?
Not for me personally.
Yeah,
but you know what? Like I think.
But you go there. You go there for the personas.
Well, look. There's like a joy to buying like a new piece of hardware, right?
Yeah,
when it comes out, and you know, just as long as there's decent stuff, it doesn't have to be the best.
Well,
but come on, Ultimate Marvel versus Capcom versus Tom Clancy's whatever that launched with the 3DS.
Give a fuck about anything with Tom Clancy.
You know,
by the way, that Ghost Recon, the game that came out in the 3DS, awesome.
Yeah, that's what Michael said something to that effect, but I didn't believe him.
It's fantastic.
Because
it really is.
Because I couldn't even see his beard through the launch goggles. I guess it's okay. I guess it's okay.
But the other thing they announced is, I think it was already announced, but they announced a new character for Street Fighter Cross Tekken. Is that the official name?
Ooh, is he from Tekken or Street Fighter?
It's a cat.
What?
And it's the that PSP or the Vita logo, like not Toroto, but
Toroko or
yeah, it's
he's
a
been
cat.
like a semi-unofficial PlayStation mascot for years and years.
You would not hear though.
You've never heard less audible. Like there was no response from the audience.
Yeah, cricket button right there.
So that like little super simplistic white cat thing?
Yes,
Yeah,
which by the way took over like half of the press conference because every time that Sony also tried. I think Sony knows that one of the reasons the 3DS is failing or not doing as well as Nintendo had hoped is because people like tablets. So about half the press conference was spent building up like, look at all the apps. Look, you can use the internet.
You're still going to charge 3 times as much as every other platform?
Yes.
Actually, for Japan, they announced all the online stuff was going to be like hour cards, which is actually kind of interesting.
Hour cards?
Like buy 10 hours of online for like a few bucks.
That's how it's
I
always
love
been.
buying online by the hour because I live in 1992.
I'd still rather do that for like the Vita because I know that there's going to be a month where I don't play anything. But if I want to,
I don't think that'll be the case. But I wouldn't subscribe to a game that I needed to play online on a portable system.
No, like if you had to buy like with if you had to buy like a monthly charge.
Oh, I see.
With 3G.
Oh, with AT&T.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess pay as you go for a console makes sense.
Yeah,
it does actually. I mean,
as long as it still has Wi-Fi.
But it doesn't matter because there's no way that's making it over to America.
America does not like pay-as-you-go plans, and it's usually cripplingly unfair as far as our pay-as-you-go plans go.
Right.
And you'll end up getting fucked in your stupid face. I couldn't cue it up correctly. Someone else go. I haven't eaten much. I'm drunk.
More TGS Monster Hunter 4 for the 3DS. That's the kind of thing that, and Monster Hunter
3G.
There's another word. There's another letter there.
3G.
Something.
4S?
Hunter?
No, it's 3GD.
3G.
I wish it's 3G
3GS?
something. It's a remake of Monster Hunter 3G.
Yay.
Man. And Monster Hunter 4, which
there was much rejoicing.
Is it really that sad a time for Japanese developers? They announced Dead or Alive 5?
Absolutely.
Specifically Capcom. I mean,
well, I hear that Monster Hunter, or as they call it there, Mohan, is the hotness.
Well, the thing is, like, I got a little bit of Schadenfreude reading the bits about the casual consumers are finally abandoning Nintendo because they've got iPhones now. and so now Nintendo, I think, is going to have to realize it's like, oh yeah, what happened to those gamers? We should start paying attention to them again. like really hard and fast now.
I don't know.
Stop trying to charge me like $8 for a Zelda game. Or,
I don't know who.
well, I guess it's free now.
Yeah, I don't know who at Nintendo was like, you know who bought the Wii? Soccer moms. You know who will buy the 3DS? Also soccer moms. And that, it's taking them till now to be like, hey, I guess they're not buying a 3D.
Well, because who bought the
handheld.
DS? Everyone.
Yeah.
I want to. I've always wanted to write an article comparing them to Disney, but mark my words, Nintendo will be a company that cranks out almost no new product and salvages itself on the nostalgia of its old shit.
Yeah, I think.
Which I'm actually fine with.
I'm totally fine with it.
I think we're in sort of like that 80s slump before Eisner took over phase at Nintendo right now.
So
They need
just hold on until Nintendo's Jim Henson's Dinosaurs.
Wait, they're going to crank out a few more shitty live action movies. And, and they'll rediscover animation.
They'll have a respectable failure like Rocketeer. Maybe it'll probably be a Fire Emblem game.
Nah, because it'll be something somebody in this room cares about.
It's not that I don't. Well, Henry's not here, so I guess you're right.
I've always wanted to like Fire Emblem, but it's just so much effort.
Yeah, they don't really make it that easy.
No, it's hard to love.
Did they say it would be coming to America?
No.
It's usually a translation issue, and it's always up in the air for Fire Emblem.
and actually,
They won't even say if the Pink Mist 3DS is going to be coming out.
I asked Nintendo about that yesterday, and the official response was, we don't know. For both of those. It wasn't even like, we don't comment, or we haven't decided. It's just like,
I imagine if you ask Nintendo America just about anything, like, well, we'll know when we're told to. Well,
there's this guy in Japan that sends us an email.
Yeah, like, why give someone more than 2 colors? You know how much money pink plastic costs to produce? Millions. Millions of dollars.
Apparently.
Well, but
unless you're going on the manufacturer who makes Lizzie's iPhone casing. Because then it looks like $1, $2.
What are they calling it? Pink Mist?
MYST, I believe.
So it's like that game by Cyan?
I'm trying.
Nobody got that?
I'm trying.
Really? Fucking Mist? Come on.
Oh, I thought you were making like a cyan being another color joke.
No.
I understand the Mist reference.
I probably could have figured out a clever way to do that.
I understand.
I was riveted by your joke.
Anyway, somebody in the office who shall remain nameless was like, "Why are they calling it Pink Mist? Why don't they call it vaginal wall pink?"
Pink
and I was like, "Ew!" And he was like, "Did you just say ew to that?"
Yeah, that's pretty ew. I'm gonna try and top it.
That's pretty inappropriate.
Yeah,
it's like farting out a mist of cum when your asshole is bleeding.
So it's like auto-felching, but with blood.
We need to Google this.
But anyhow, the Pink Mist announcement was preceded by a very interesting graph which showed the difference between male versus female ratios for the Wii and the Nintendo DS.
And they
wow,
also
Tyler did something so adult and like put a stop to my behavior.
They
We're so used to it by
game.
this point, it's no longer shocking.
Nintendo also announced a game that I think was called Girls Game or Girl RPG.
Game for girl.
And they also showed like a 3-minute long video of like Mii's getting married and hanging out with no English context.
Unga bunga caveman game developer.
There's no way millions of female gamers will be offended.
Stick figure get married.
Well, it's like that yearly thing at the Nintendo
Ambition
Round
realized.
Table.
How give hand job without arm? Tyler fucking hates me right now. He's all right.
Because you didn't finish that statement.
And he's not even like disagreeing with me. He's
They
like,
didn't
yeah,
make it
pretty
clear
much.
that the Mii's can't give hand jobs because they only have hands.
That's right.
They don't have,
That's right.
and they don't even have hands. They just have those balls that just float in the air.
I do. Yeah.
Countdown to balls joke, I guess.
I'm not going to do it because Tyler Nagata looks like he wants to fucking murder me in my sleep and he lives below me and I can't. All right, serious news. I'm putting on my journalist face.
Have you found anything else you can think of for TGS? It's
TGS related?
Starting.
I mean, it's just about the new assets and trailers and stuff. Like, there was that interesting, ridiculous Love Plus stuff that they...
Love Plus? Do tell.
It's like a dating sim, but it's like it's going to be extreme. The new Love Plus for the 3DS. Which
I'm in.
All sorts of that AR reality stuff with the camera where you can put like girls on your couch and fucking...
I see.
In 3D though. Nintendo announced that they're going to be able to. There's going to be a firmware update. I think in October that lets you record in 3D on the 3DS.
I did read that today. I'm like, you should have just not done it at all. If you didn't do it at launch, allow people to do that at launch.
And I
Who
mean,
the fuck cares? Now everybody knows it's a gimmick now and doesn't give a shit.
all they need to do with that is make it like okay, now you can also upload it to YouTube, and now you can watch 3D YouTube videos, and then it's like, oh, okay, cool, that's something I'd do.
It could have been the first piece of technology to allow you to record video in 3D, like on a consumer level,
and then upload it to YouTube and watch 3D. That's the thing. It's like YouTube has 3D support.
God damn it! I'm not trying to root against Nintendo.
I want somebody else to run Nintendo.
I know. Other than Nintendo,
Nintendo needs to listen to one person who has ever lived in America.
Is everybody on your board 700 years old?
Yes.
Jesus.
Also, I want to correct myself. Yes, Mii's do have arms.
They have arms and then ball hands.
Yes, they do. I was thinking of Rayman.
You were still right with balls. Their hands are just balls.
That's true. No, I know that.
Well, Tyler, is there anything that you want to talk about that's not TGS related?
The Max Payne 3 trailer just launched.
Yeah, that was
very
pretty
first
awesome.
Was it? I haven't watched it yet.
It was kind of awesome.
Yeah?
It's, typical Rockstar awesome trailer.
What was up? I only saw the email they sent me, and we gotten so used to those bald Max Payne pics, but he's got hair now.
He shaves it in the middle of the trailer.
Yeah, he does.
Okay.
Which he looked cool with hair.
Yeah.
Now he looks like
he's definitely older and paunchier. I mean, he's got kind of, I wouldn't go so far as to call it a gut. I think they got a bad reaction to that.
I think he's got
but he does have a very soft looking middle.
Punch is a good way to say that. He's got what do you call that? 4-year-old build.
Yeah. Yeah, he looks haggard. He looks like the kind of person who just stays alive on painkillers and caffeine and no sleep.
Not to be confused with painkiller. They're too similar again. Tyler, I got more news. Otherwise, I'm going to have to bring Charlie Barrett in here.
Nah, that's pretty much...
Nothing.
That's pretty much.
What about both your? What about some PC bullshit? You two were gallivanting around talking about League of Legends a second ago. Like,
yeah, there's the new.
Oh,
hero.
well, we love League of Legends.
New hero launched for League of Legends.
Yeah.
Riven? Is it Riven?
Riven.
And I am going to immediately leave this podcast and play as Riven.
Insert other missed joke.
I'm going to
keep the PC going
as Dale.
I
wanted to make a Rivendell joke and a Chippendale joke, but I think I was asking too much of my own brain. I don't think.
You just ended with Dale.
Dale. I got the Rivendell part out, but not the Chippendale part. So I'm disappointed in myself. But
I'm imagining Chippendales dancing at Rivendell. Like in front of Elrond, and he's like, yes.
But I am waiting every day to see if Riot Games will launch Dominion, the new mode.
Yeah, they've been promising this new game mode for a while. It's not out yet. That's what's up with it. We've been hearing like, hey, it's probably coming out soon, and they've been saying soon for a while, and soon. I think soon has passed. So we're now getting to kinda soon, and we're hoping that it's coming out kinda soon. It essentially takes I heard somebody call League of Legends almost like a sports game where like the one game mode is like, let's just say football. Like that game mode you play as in League of Legends is football. And them releasing a new map with a new game mode is being like, okay, now it's baseball. Like it's not like there's a new level in Call of Duty. It changes everything about the game, and you're still using people and they're still using like the same kind of abilities, but it's a different game.
If I may try and pander to the PC audience, it's like Left 4 Dead co-op campaign versus Left 4 Dead versus.
Even further.
Even more.
Even more? I love it.
It's like Left 4 Dead's co-op campaign, and then the campaign of like Dead Island. Like it's that, like, yeah, you're still fighting zombies, you're still using weapons in an open kind of area, but it's a completely different mechanic.
Oh my God, Dead Island. I never wanted to weigh in. I'm not even going to break it up. I never wanted to weigh in on that in any way. Never wanted to play it, but I was on vacation. It was the only game I stole from work. I cannot think of a better terrible game that I've ever played. Like, so much fun, so fucking stupid.
Yep. Paid you so much money to say that. No.
I really like your Dead Island money hat, by the way.
My Dead Island. This is
it looks really expensive.
It's the character Sam B. He's the guy with the bandana who answers everybody. We're like, yep, what up? We gotta get. Can you find the receiver? Sure enough.
Oh God, I do like Dead Island. I've been playing it a little bit. It's like Borderlands meets Far Cry 2.
Then a cutscene kicks in, or a bug, or a terrible menu or an item system, and I'm like, man.
Well, a new patch came out today that supposedly fixed a lot of errors.
I finished it already.
Well, now you can go back.
Are they going to fix the story? Because it's really stupid. And I don't know. I don't know if it's just I'm living in a post LA Noire world, but those fucking faces, man, are very, very second generation original Xbox. Very breathy, like, NPC. Is this picking up well on mic? This is me doing breathing motions, and
it looks like an MMO NPC where it doesn't actually talk because they don't feel like animating the body, so they just kind of gyrate. They have
so many scenes where they try and emote, and where they do something emotional, and they turn to the characters as if their cheekbones moved an inch, and they don't. Their eyebrows don't move either, so it's just like they're like pointing a mannequin at something sad. Got it.
Well, it's funny. I feel like I might have mentioned this on last week's podcast, but it's by Techland.
Yeah,
they're the ones who did the Call of Juarez series, and they also put out a Call of Juarez game like a month or two ago that was completely fucking horrible.
Really, really, really horrible.
And then they put out Dead Island, and it's much better, but it still has a lot of problems. And so Coop and I, we were talking earlier today about like, I wonder if this is like a thing like with Obsidian and like Alpha Protocol came out, and it was kind of iffy and had a lot of problems, and then like Fallout New Vegas came out like a couple months later, and it was much better, but it was riddled with bugs and had all these other problems. And like, if it's just a case of divided attentions,
like a small studio that really should be making one game and maybe like helping to develop DLC for it, but instead they're like, hey, we're going to make Alpha Protocol awesome. And somebody's like, do you want to make a Fallout? And they're like, hell yeah, we want to make a Fallout. But we don't feel like stopping making our other games. So each team's getting 5 people.
I think that game got too big for its britches after a certain trailer. Not to mention a popular web series of advertaining videos.
So advertising.
Yeah, that thing was like announced. That thing was announced pre-Left 4 Dead.
Yeah.
And
looked awful back then too. Go back and look at those screenshots.
The shit that happened in that game, I couldn't believe it. Like a weapon I've been building up for hours, just disappearing. I die. For example, I'm trying not to spoil anything. I die and I'm looking for a key. I die before I find the key. I respawn in the area I needed the key to gain access to, but I don't have the key, so the door is not unlocked, and I am trapped further in the game than I needed to be, with nothing that I needed, being killed by advanced enemies.
That's very weird.
I had to turn off the power on my 360 to go back to the spot where I needed to continue the game because I was just stuck. Couldn't get anywhere.
The weirdest bug that I've run into, and I think the only real huge bug, was those thug zombies that show up that are like really tough. I decided to. I'm playing as
let him swing 3 times and then take your hits.
The sword expert.
Yes,
but like I decided to throw all of my bladed weapons into this zombie, and then it killed me. And so I'm like, fuck! Now I've lost all my weapons. So I ran back to where I had fought it, and all of my knives are floating in midair in the same place. They're basically they're all just occupying the same space, and I just ran up and plucked them out of thin air. And it's like all but the most valuable one were there. Sorry.
It's all right.
That's actually kind of cool.
I mean, there are situations like that. I had the same thing Matt encountered where you throw a weapon and it would end up beneath the ground.
Nice.
And I didn't throw it that hard because this weapon is not. Anywho.
Dead Island.
We're going to come back.
We gave it a 7.
All right,
which is good.
Seems to be about right. Yeah,
it's good.
It's one of those that it's like it's got a lot of really good points, but then it's just
it made me really so excited to play an open world game again. I think I'm going to go start Borderlands or Deus Ex like immediately. I loved it. I had a fantastic time with it, but its flaws are hilarious.
You just want a better version of that.
A little bit, but the zombie angle is really great too, especially that the characters are people who are immune to zombie bites.
Right.
So that explains how you play through the game. You can get bit and fucked up.
Well, most zombie games are like that. Like, otherwise, you're going to get bitten by the first zombie you run across, and then you're going to be sick.
What zombie game am I thinking? There's another zombie game where the characters are immune to
in Resident Evil, you do get bit by zombies.
But they're a lot. You get bit by zombies a lot, and you never turn.
I didn't even think about that. You're right. Well, but they established that in the story. Like, so every time you go somewhere and like he's immune to the virus, he can do this for you. So it makes sense why you're going on these missions because you're the only person who can. But I didn't think about that. That yes, but they never established that. I'm done.
It also helps that the 4 people with the most combat training on the island are the ones who are immune.
You don't know that. That chick in the bikini could be like a ninja secretly.
Yes.
She's not going to tell you because she's too busy moaning and biting you.
The rapper character I played as with the dead eyeballs, that's what should be called, dead eyeballs. Lol. I'm giving myself one of these.
Dead-eyed protagonists.
Does anybody have anything to plug? Are we reviewing anything? Do we have any features going up? That doesn't happen here anymore, right?
No, I'm working on next week's top 7.
Yeah?
I'm cranking out the top fucking 7s.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm working on a new venture. Follow my Twitter, please. Anybody else news-ishness?
We post it.
Fuck yeah.
Come to us.
Fuck yeah.
Read our
it and
site.
You can find out why MapleStory divorces are running rampant.
I don't know. I don't know. I need to see it next to a chart with RuneScape separation.
So are these divorces within the game?
Yes.
Okay, so it's not like wives finding out their husband's actually playing
costs
MapleStory.
money to get married in the game. And people,
That's awesome.
But 75% of the people who get married in
Just
the
like in
game
real
break
life.
up.
Just like, that's depressing.
Yeah.
Probably because 75% of the people who get married in the game are 14.
Did I mention I'm still alone? Anywho, I'm going to try and
14-year-olds are marrying each other, Chris. They're marrying each other online.
I'm going to go
Their
back.
avatars are getting married.
I'm going on vacation again so I can wallow in my own sweat and sadness.
And play enough MapleStory to get married.
Play enough MapleStory. I'm going to have my own little MapleStory.
It only costs $25.
To get married?
No!
Wait, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck! Back in my day, we had a MapleStory that was called Aunt Jemima. Look, can I just leave? Can I leave?
Please.
I think you'd better at this point.
All right, this is the final round of the Games Radar Spelling Bee. Darth Vader, your word is TalkRadar. Brett Elston, use it in a sentence.
I swear to God, I've never laughed so hard as I did when listening to TalkRadar 15.
TALC.
Sorry.
Go to gamesradar.com.
TalkRadar, available in the iPhone App Store. Never.
Don't cry, my love, don't cry no more. A crashing sky, a roaring scream. A city drowning in God's black tears.
Belated weird second segment for Talk Radar 178. I have sobered up during the break.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's amazing how that can happen.
I really hope I didn't end the show last night like it was an act. Doesn't matter because we have a very special guest to talk about a certain game called Gears of War 3.
Ah, shit!
No, don't need you to talk yet. I built you another intro. It's another long one, but I think you were tired of the old Pope of Greenwich Village reference. But Charlie, this is your new intro.
My eyes are getting weary. My back is getting tight. I'm sitting here in traffic on the Queensboro Bridge tonight. But I don't care, cause all I wanna do
Respect the theme.
is cash my check and drive right home to you. Cause baby, all my life I will be driving home to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Charlie Barrett.
What was the point of that?
I'm a little confused myself.
I thought you were going to change something.
You were just a little tired. I don't know. I figured you deserved the King of Queens theme song. Like that would be the most appropriate way to bring it in.
I see.
I do love King of Queens.
I know you do. I know you're a big Kevin James fan. That Zookeeper shirt is looking stellar.
Leah Remini used to be pretty hot.
Yeah, she was.
And Charlie's wearing a homemade shirt that says Paul Blart Zookeeper.
I thought you were going to have it where it was like, all I want to do, and it was going to cut to me saying, Battle of Jellyfish.
No, why would I alter anything like that?
I don't know.
Who knows?
It's classic.
Maybe we will try. Of course, I have Marcus Venus Hatfield. How's Gears of War 3?
Marcus Venus?
I gave up on the word.
Okay.
It's not
Gears of War 3 is quotation mark awesome end quotation mark 9/10.
Okay, we're done.
Yay! What kept it from a 10, Charlie Bear?
What kept it from a 10 is not the multiplayer, which is really cool, and the co-op, which is super fun and beefed up in many different ways. But the campaign, I was going to say single player, but obviously if you don't have to play it single player. The campaign...
4-player co-op, right?
Yeah, if you play the campaign in 4-player co-op, it's actually definitely better.
Oh, let's make sure to do that.
Because the campaign left me a little disappointed. It fell a little flat for me in a lot of parts. One of the reasons would be solved by playing 4-player co-op. And we already have a video. I mentioned in the review, and we have a video from the UK about this, which is I started playing on normal, thinking like I'm doing it for this review. I need to get through it quickly. So I'll play it on hardcore for myself, but I need to play it on normal now just to make sure I finish it in time for the review. It was so easy. I mean, they're right when that headline in the UK, like it almost plays itself.
Really?
Because he does that like 10 minutes of video where he doesn't pull the trigger except for when they make him in the story. And your squad mates, because they have to have
You did show me that. Like, they did all the work for me in one of those scenes.
Yeah, like you were
It wasn't a scripted event. Like,
yeah, you were trying to catch footage.
You
were looking around, like trying to figure out where you're supposed to go. And then while you're doing that, like they'd already finished off half the enemies for you.
Yeah.
And that happens a lot, at least in the beginning of the game, because I eventually switched over to hardcore because it was just not fun that way. But it's because they have to add 3 co-op partners in case there's human people that come into there. But if they're not, then those are 3 AI people that are just too good at their jobs. They're always running in front of your bullets because they're like trying to be helpful. You know, in Call of Duty, Call of Duty makes you charge forward. Like they'll keep replenishing enemies, and unless you charge forward, they'll keep coming, and you're the one that has to make that move and lead the charge further down the hall or further across the battlefield. In Gears of War, it seems like there's still finite number of enemies, and you're
all clear.
I could stop this anytime.
And your squad mates will take care of as many as you let them take care of. If you are at the beginning of a certain area and you're like, oh, I actually want to look around for collectibles and make sure I get some ammunition, so I'm ready for this fight. Oh wait, I just got to the fight and they've already killed off half the enemies for me. Or like, oh, there's a guy crawling. I want to go do one of the new executions.
They kept taking it from me.
There's tons of new executions to do. Like there's one for every weapon, and I want to get those. That's an achievement.
And I really played for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, and I'm like, and it's always stupid Drake from Degrassi Next Generation stealing them. It's always him. I'm like, oh, finally, there's one, because the locusts this time are lambent and they blow up and are glowy and gooey rather than bloody. So they blow up instead of crawling. So when you're fighting one of the regular locusts and you see him crawling, it's a rare opportunity in the main campaign. I'm like, oh, finally, there it is. And I just happen to have this weapon I haven't done an execution on before. I want to execute that guy with the torque bow or with the one shot. And then I run over there, and just as I get there, Jace/Drake just walks in. It's like, yeah, take that, motherfucker. And then he just kicks in and he just curb stomps him. Does the most basic.
Not Drake.
Does the most basic execution. I'm like, I was going to do something so much cooler, Drake. Why'd you have to do that?
You know, Michael, when you're that far away from the microphone, it makes me feel like you don't care about Gears of War 3.
He cares about Resistance 3.
I care, but I haven't actually started playing it yet, so I have nothing to contribute.
Not true. You haven't played. Did you play the beta with us?
No.
No?
Nope. I was completely out of that loop.
Why are you here, Michael?
I don't know.
Because
Chris just dragged me in here and was like,
I don't know how to do this without you. Don't make me do this alone. Interview Charlie Barrett.
Here's Lucky Charm.
Yeah.
So that was one aspect. Oh, but just, the other reason the campaign falls a little flat for me is story-wise. Like, it was predictable. Spoiler alert: some characters die, and
thanks for that, buddy.
It's you really didn't
just completely ruined the game.
Charlie jumped me further in the game, and somebody just yelled at somebody being dead.
That's right. I actually spoiled it. I actually spoiled it for you, like 100% spoiled it for you.
Well, what was awesome is that you were genuinely apologetic about it.
I did feel bad.
You felt bad.
But I don't want to spoil anything. This is not something I mentioned in the review because I didn't want to get into it and get too spoilery, and I still won't here. But there is a character death that should be a big deal, and the way it happened in the game, I thought fell really super flat. I can't wait for you guys to get to that point so you can tell me if you feel the same way.
Okay.
Like, the music kicks in, the slow motion kicks in, you're supposed to really, really care, and I'm like, wait, really now? Like, That was totally that sacrifice was totally unnecessary. Like, we weren't in that dire straits. Why did you do that?
Maybe he or she isn't really dead. Did you see the body?
Well, do you ever see a body except for Carmine's? They probably won't.
I don't know. Did you just ruin Carmine's death?
I did not.
Oh, okay. Oh, the other
or did
one.
I?
The other one. I get it. No, you're right.
Yeah, I'm very curious to know how that Save Carmine, Kill Carmine campaign went, but that's a spoiler.
Especially that Cliffy B was promoting Kill Him.
Yeah, he wanted him to die.
Yeah. No, I think I sort of do as well.
They definitely play with you in the campaign. Like, there's a few moments where he gets close, like a piece of playground equipment almost crushes him, or like a sniper bullet goes right by his head, and they want you to think, oh, that's the time he's going to get killed. Nope. And they'll comment, he's like, oh man, that's a good thing I was wearing a helmet. You almost shot me. Or,
didn't that happen with the other Carmine?
The other Carmine, the first Carmine was shot.
He almost died a couple times, though.
Oh, no,
in
maybe.
The second game?
The second Carmine.
First Carmine was shot in the head. The second Carmine was, I think, dissolved and eaten by a bunch of little guys.
He was digested.
Yeah.
And they were, and I think they made a big deal. Like, Marcus was like, "No, Carmine."
And I think I included Carmine, just a collective Carmine, in the list of unluckiest bastards, and just predicted the deaths of all the various like C to Z Carmines.
I do wonder if
Carmine is the red-shirted black guy.
It was this the first name all their first initials are like A, B, now C.
Yeah, because there's Anthony. I don't know what the second one's name is.
Ben.
Okay, and this one is Clayton Carmine.
Yeah,
and it's funny because they use the same voice. It's the same voice actor, but he's like now he's a badass. He's got Grub Killer written across his chest plate.
Wow,
of course,
and
because that'll always be relevant.
He gets angry at people.
Question their choices of the cog soldiers.
It does help though because he has that written across his chest. You can be sure when he either lives or dies because there's other people that have that same helmet. So there was a moment in the game where I was like, wait, was that it? Did I just find out whether he lived or died? And then I found out later on that was not the case. And
God forbid a medium as transitory in video games should ever date itself.
Yeah. I meant in terms of the reality.
Oh,
I don't want him to wake up 40 years from now and have Grub Killer. What if like they're in the Senate with them? Like,
what if they're like Klingons?
What if they find that offensive?
Yeah,
that could be weird.
I will spoil that somewhere in the game, Carmine takes off his helmet, and underneath he's Tolly. And underneath that, he is one of those people from Michael's feature, Bozo the Clown.
Bozo the Clown?
Or was it? No, it was the It Clown.
The It Clown?
It Clown.
When you show those people under Tolly's mask.
Yeah.
What's his fucking name?
Stephen King's
It's a
It
cool
Clown?
name.
Oh, Pennywise.
Pennywise. I see.
I'll tell you another exclusive to this podcast reason why the campaign fell a little flat for me.
What's that?
I didn't have room for it in the review, which is that we always make fun of Gears of War for being next-gen brown. And, it's like, oh, wait, this one's got, like, tropical environments and, like, big, bright, sunny oceans.
I'm
And
scrolling through the chapters with you, like, there's a sun.
There's a sun, yeah.
In many of these places, that's very weird.
So when I played Act 1, I was like, ooh, this is actually bright and expansive. Look at that beautiful ocean. And, second act, you're in a big sandy desert. But then somewhere in Acts 3 and 4, it just started feeling really samey again, where it was like, okay, next-gen brown has been replaced by next-gen yellow. And, like, I'm in a cemetery which has the exact same yellowy desaturated lighting as the sewer. Like I'm in a sewer. I know a sewer is a boring place, but it could at least be dark and bluish or brownish. Nope, it's yellowish too. Oh, it's the same yellowish that is on the beach. And then even like in a point where it's like finally there was some rain and thunder and that was cool. And even that, it wasn't yellowy, but it was super desaturated. I'm like, and you guys put some colors in there, but it doesn't help if you still keep it super desaturated and make it like, we can never have anything be too bright or too bold of a color.
I
have no game have I more often gone to the pause menu and kept playing with the gamma little cog things because I was like, wait, is this the real color? Okay, it is. This is still good. This is still good.
I mean, it's almost unfair. It'll never be like playing the first Gears for the first time, which was sort of mind-blowing visually. Like, we didn't know the 360 was capable of that. It's so many years later. Poor Gears of War 3. But I do want to give it all the credit in the world, because I thought L.A. Noire had done this to me when I was playing Dead Island. Like, these are the worst-looking faces I have seen. Or is it just, has L.A. Noire tainted me to facial recognition? But the
Gears faces look good, I think.
They do, and that I don't know. I haven't played like many games like that. I've been mostly Xbox Live Arcade shit.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I don't think they do any motion capping. I think it's just maybe it's well animated.
What have I played since? Yeah, but like Assassin's Creed is tight facial. I just couldn't remember
Right.
because I had played L.A. Noire all the way through, and I think I haven't played anything else all the way through since Dead Island. Fuck, just undead mannequin faces. But then I saw the Gears of War face, like, wow, they're more articulate than they were before.
And then they're not realistic looking. They're big and
But like
they're
every
big
single
potato
piece
heads,
of it
but
moves independently.
Yeah,
and
they look real in that universe anyway.
there's just a lot of in the cinematics. There's just a lot of great photography and a lot of great angles and close-ups on characters. And they don't have those kind of facial flaws. Something like Dead Island does.
Yeah, there's some great. Not as many as I'd hoped for, but there's some great emotional like payoff moments.
Thank you for the money, Dead Island. I'm sorry.
How much did they give you again?
It's still coming.
You almost said $1 million, didn't you?
Yeah, it's still coming.
It's still coming in, but like there's some really nice moments in Gears of War 3 campaign where you see like it's almost nonverbal, like a point where Coltrane. This was actually in the
Coltrane
video that we already put up a few weeks ago, where Rod Ferguson narrates an entire chapter, but he goes into the supermarket and sees a cardboard standee of himself, and he's just like, woo! He has a line where he's like, do you ever get the feeling that you're already dead and you just don't know it? But then there's just like another like 3 seconds of just focusing on his face where he gives a super sad look where he just stares wistfully, and like you can just tell there's a whole mix of emotions of like thinking about his past, knowing that he'll never get that back no matter how hard he tries.
I think then a locust pops in and chainsaws the standee and laughs at him.
That does happen, but
the face thing I think jumped out at me because I think a large part of Gears bro reputation comes from the character. Bro-putation. Like, dude, kill him. Wait, whatever. I don't know.
And they still do that, but
a lot of that comes from that they always looked the same, squinty-eyed with Ninja Turtle mouths. And
are they squinty? I feel like you can see their eyes. Like, how do I know that Marcus's eyes are like light grayish blue?
They're all fucking grizzled and Chuck Norris-esque, and so in a couple of those cutscenes, I'm like, oh, there's genuine emotions being conveyed with their face now, which I think was new to me in terms of
How many
Gears.
times does Mad World play?
Well, that's a good...
I would be surprised that you would think it would play at all, Michael.
Yeah, why would you think that?
It hasn't played before.
Or are you just trying to get us to move on and you knew that we had to
No, I was genuinely curious.
Yeah, well,
why would you think that it would play in the game?
Because it was in the first commercial, and I was just thinking, like, well, if they're actually genuinely including emotional moments now,
You're a clever man.
Well, this is on the gridlocked map. Charlie said it might have happened to you during the second round.
And this is the map that was in Gears 1 and I think Gears 2 as well. They just keep redoing it in different lighting.
You showed me a direct feed. And I'm like, wow, here, map loading.
Here they come!
This is from. I didn't make this. It's directly from the game.
This is a multiplayer match.
It's a multiplayer in the middle of a multiplayer match. Yes, like
wow, that's weird.
I'm trying to wait until it's a very long clip, but I want to.
There's the part where I
try and run straight to the fire.
Oh,
No, this is me.
This is your clip. Oh,
I just got this because no, it's an instrumental version, no lyrics.
I thought I almost heard it, but I guess I was just imagining the words there.
But
I was just talking shit. I didn't. Think
No,
that's why we were
Charlie
surprised.
said that, and I'm like, why did that happen? Did you hit a button in the environment somewhere? Was it playing from a loudspeaker within the game? It seems very weird to underscore a multiplayer map with a highly licensed track, an expensive track for the first time.
That also undercut my next shit-talking question, which was how many emotional moments are there in the multiplayer?
And there you go, one.
Yeah. So there you go. I'm curious, how long is it?
To me, it felt about as long as Gears of War 2. Maybe I've heard that they said it's bigger. But I don't know if it is. Maybe slightly longer. Like,
is it the kind of thing I can play overnight when it comes out and have finished in time for the podcast?
You could, but I wouldn't recommend playing it all in one night. I would recommend playing it across a weekend.
I see.
Yes.
I played it on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Like Friday night, and then a few hours Saturday and a few hours Sunday. And it took me maybe, I don't know, probably 12 hours. But then I was doing it for review, so I was going slower than most people would. Because I was wanting to check things, so it probably is like the usual 8 to 10 hours.
I meant to offer to come. I wanted to play through with you.
I definitely want to play 4-player co-op because that'll solve all those problems of those of Drake stealing kills. Because at least I know you stole the kill, and we can
yell at one another.
We can work together to get exexecutions, and we can. And there's lots of times where you're fighting a huge boss because this game has tons more of the boss creatures showing up all the time.
Yeah,
I mean, you still fight tons. One of the comments on the review was like worried about that and saying I like fighting the infantry and just those kind of just filling them with bullets and watching them fall over. There's still plenty of that, but Brewmax show up all the time, Reaver show up all the time, Corpser show up all the time.
It happened in the opening, which I may have posted as a video on GR. By this point, you can see the 10 minutes, opening 10 minutes. I changed it to opening 10 minutes, not the first 10 minutes, because I don't want to spoil the first 4 minutes, which aren't even a spoiler. I just want to make sure.
Spoil them right now, and then
I want to make sure people play that for themselves. It's a very nice.
I already spoiled it in the in the preview from.
Did you?
Like a month or so ago.
Right. So people know that
if they read that preview, yeah.
Son of a bitch. All right, maybe I'll go back and put that in.
It's really cool. I mean, so you don't want to talk about it now? Well, it's the beginning of the game. They want to know more stuff.
Just why do the locusts are now
Lambents?
Lambents.
All of them are Lambert?
Lamberts. They're Adam Lamberts.
They're Lamberts, the sheepish lion.
Oh
yes,
man,
they're all sheepish lions.
I knew I was thinking it.
I did.
Lamb.
Not all of them.
We don't need to sing.
No, sing. They like when we sing.
Exploding locust land.
Yeah, they explode into clouds of goo.
Urine. They explode into urine. Thick urine.
That's right. I farted in this enclosed room because of what you just did. And the AC's off.
Oh, you're a bastard.
Yuck.
Warm farts.
I have to say I did like the way you sidestepped the Resistance comparison, which is a nice way of covering up the fact that you haven't actually played Resistance.
Exactly. I sidestepped that at about 3 a.m. this morning.
Nicely done.
That's why we're doing. Anywho,
no, I want to make sure. I feel like I complained too much about the campaign. I do want to. That's the story fell a little flat for me, but there are a lot of good moments in the story, and it's not my favorite campaign of the 3. At least it's obviously got better graphics and some bigger stuff happens, but first impressions of how the first one made you feel when you played the campaign, the second one made you feel, doesn't reach those heights, but it still has a lot of really cool moments, and it's going to be really, really fun on 4-player co-op.
Does Marcus Phoenix do his Sam Kinison impression? I just had the file called
I felt like I was going to say something. I was like, wait, you're clearly about to play something. I'll let you play it.
Yeah, because I didn't, those are all existing Gears clips, but I did get stuff other than the Mad World. Swear to God, it's very weird.
That plays in the campaign somewhere too.
Yeah, when you told me that, I thought, are you sure they weren't just you weren't being fucked with at the demo, but you got a retail copy and took it home?
Well, that happened to me here. That happened to me in the office.
I got one new clip of Marcus.
Stay sharp. These assholes can come out of anywhere.
That's true.
Yes, they can come out of
They could even come out of other assholes.
I know. I was trying to mix up that sentence.
You should just shorten it to assholes can come out of anywhere.
That's what I wanted. Something dirty.
But you going to play some Ice-T?
I did. That was the highlight for me, is hearing motherfucking IT, man. IT don't fuck around.
Why didn't you do this whole interview as Ice-T?
had a more pronounced lift than usual.
I should have done. Yeah, pimp, dude. Pimp for life. And I'm on NCIS every Sunday. So. Pimp.
Is he?
I don't know. He's on one of those dumb.
He's on Law & Order SVU.
Michael, you should not know that.
I used to leave it on for my chinchilla all the time.
Oh, do you like Law & Order?
He loved watching Law & Order.
Really?
Yeah, he always came to the edge of his cage and faced the TV whenever it was on.
Are you sure
they say that pets, that you often project your own feelings onto your pets, so maybe you just love watching Law & Order.
I was indifferent to Law & Order, but I'd leave it on for him when I left the house.
Maybe he just found the transition sound comforting.
No, that's actually a thing, that chinchillas love television.
I thought you were going to say that chinchillas love Law & Order.
No, they love television, and they love shows that are just a lot of talking.
Oh, interesting.
That don't have loud noises. And
weird.
So that doesn't often have loud noises, and it has lots of talking.
Huh. You should just let him watch C-SPAN.
Yeah, did that sometimes.
I was going to say CNN, but they clearly have tons of loud noises and graphics these days.
Y'all want to hear the Charlie?
Yes.
Tell me about Griffin.
Oh, he's the chief around here. Griffin Emulsion Corporation, remember?
Yeah. So you've got fuel.
Yeah. What?
That's not one of my favorite moments in the game.
What? Not one of your favorite characters?
What happens before that moment is really cool. The setting is really neat and creepy. But
I'm trying not to ruin that.
I wasn't a fan of Ice-T's appearance in this game.
Oh, he's wonderful. Let's hear the IT.
So welcome to Griffin Tower, Cog. It was here before you destroyed Char, and it's still standing now. And so am I. Got some nerve coming around here asking for favors, motherfuckers.
it's a fucking nerve.
At least when
Fucking out the sun so I can't be sun tea. I gotta be iced. What?
I don't know, just in the game, like at least I was like, it's sort of believable. When you actually don't see the cuts anymore, just like I can see him in the studio just recording that right now. It's like that's just Ice-T just talking to the microphone. He probably did one take.
Yep. Here's an interaction between him and Phoenix to prove that it's genuine.
Oh, and who the fuck are you? Marcus Phoenix. It is a name I think I recall. You know the first rule of business, Mr. Phoenix? Remind me. It's what's in it for me.
Yeah.
Did they actually give him a script? Or is that just him talking into a microphone and they adapt the
It's improv and they're like, we'll make whatever character you just
Wait,
come up with.
I forgot I had an idea. You remember that last line of dialogue? Stay with.
I recall. You know the first rule of business, Mr. Phoenix? Revive me! It's what's in it for me.
I messed it up. I messed it up. Revive. All right.
You have to combine
Stop that. I should have done it in pre-production, which there's very little time to do anymore. Oh well.
So Act 3.
Oh well.
Thanks,
that's Brett.
Yeah.
Or is that's Brett Bot?
Yeah, I don't have anything that would insult you.
Hey, shut up.
There you go. Anywho,
Act 1 and 2 are I think are pretty strong, and they feel like they're really building up to something. Then Act 3 and 4 have some really great moments in them, but they drag a little bit. And I'm like, why are you introducing an Ice-T character when we're supposed to be wrapping up an entire trilogy? Like, I don't need this. Why is this guy showing up now?
Tower, cog.
Why is he sending me to get fuel?
It was here before you destroyed Char, and it's still standing now.
Well, since you asked, it's because he's going to take over the series when Marcus Phoenix dies at the end.
That's
if anybody takes over, it'll probably that's like they're setting up Drake probably to take over. I'm not saying there's anything in the plot that would make it like that. Just it seems.
Why bring him in for the last game?
It's kind of like bringing in Shia LaBeouf to take over.
I was going to say.
Jones.
So does Marcus Phoenix's kerchief like blow into Drake's hands at the end during a wedding scene?
That'd be amazing. And then he just slowly slips it on, and then looks out into the sunset.
Yep.
Speaking of looking out into the sunset.
Oh, but I was going to say Act 3 and 4 are a little not so great for me anyway. Act 5 comes back strong, though. It's probably not the ending I wanted for the entire trilogy, but there's a lot of cool stuff that happens in Act 5, environment-wise and mission-wise, and you saw one of those things. It was like...
That was pretty
That was like, when you're like scrolling through all those thumbnails of the levels, like,
what?
Dark-looking thing, yellowy-looking thing, dark-looking thing,
decrepit.
dusty-looking thing.
What is this?
Oh, what is this bright blue thing?
Yeah. You mentioned what? Did I fart again?
Maybe.
No.
It smells kind of like that.
I didn't. It was like hours ago.
I think it's just now reaching me.
Oh, I'm so happy to have my sound effects back that whole week. I used to have a fart sound effect. Doesn't matter. You said
you should talk about co-op because you played it. You played Beast Mode years ago at E3.
I did, but
oh no, you played Horde Mode.
I played both.
Oh, okay. Well, they're both really good.
They're both awesome.
I mean, people probably already.
I could never get that far in Beast Mode because you earn more points to spend on different beastly variations.
I mean, people know about Beast Mode, but really the thing that's cool about that is just that every monster plays differently, so it's really fun, and it's the goriest part of the game because
I love playing as the Ticker, just the fucking suicide bomber.
I think I enjoy most is the Brumac because you can't see very well, you're blind, and you're just crushing things, and the Serape because you're just kind of crawling along and electrocuting people with your pinchers. But then, and then the Horde mode, people all know about like it's more tower defensey right now. But the thing that's really cool about that is that they added the bosses. So every 10 waves, it randomly generates either a Brumac, a Corpser, or a Reaver. And on some of those small maps, like that's crazy. Like having a Brumac like trying to get into the hotel map, like you're holed up inside the hotel and he's like trying to stick his head through the door.
But it's randomly generated?
It's always at every 10 waves. Yeah. It randomly generates which boss character you get.
Oh, I should save that one for a closer. Ready to go?
I'll say one more thing.
Okay.
About the multiplayer, just that like the maps are all really uniquely memorable. There's one thing on each one that I'm like, I want to play it again because of that. Because whether it's because they set up a turret right in the middle, so everybody's fighting over that turret, or whether it's the fact like everybody knows what the fire alarm on checkout, but that spawns a secret weapon, and the Sandstorm coming in on trenches, an overpass. I don't think that wasn't in the beta. Just the fact like the ground constantly shifts while you're playing, so like the actual level starts getting more and more like tilted and diagonal as you're trying to play across it. Just the fact that every map, which is true in Gears 1 and 2 as well, but just the fact that every map has a little fun gimmick to it that makes it not just like we can just make this is the green one, this is the cave one. Like there's always something else to them.
Well, let's go see about posting these videos and showing
We
these people
should.
what it's like. It's late, and this thing has to be edited. Thank you very much, Charlie.
How long did we talk for?
20-something minutes.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yes. Thank you, Charlie.
You're welcome. I think you should ask Michael a question about Gears 3
Michael.
in Ice-T's voice.
How Gears 3? Exactly.
Is it better than Resistance 3?
Good night,
I don't know. I've
everybody.
only played Resistance 3.
Good night, everybody. And taking us out, we're going to do
It is better than Halo Reach.
Wabba Wabba Plants vs. Zombies rap that emerged this week. Really funny.
That makes sense for Gears 3.
Shut up, man. No, you didn't suggest a song, did you? Get me a new Cold song? Coltrane song?
I think there's a song.
You
at
lay
the,
down
oh,
from
there's
the
the
track?
there's the body count song at the end.
We're not doing that. Anywho, yeah, let's take us out with a little Plants PVZ rap. Bye, everybody. Thanks, Charlie.
Bye.
Yes!